Welcome to our social stroke legal segment on New Day this morning. And today we're talking about driver's licenses. Yes, very important topic. And I have with me, oh yes, and of course, it's proudly brought to you by Peak Milk. I hope you've all had your Peak Milk today because as you know, it gives you the needed brain power and strength that you need to start your day. All right, so my guests this morning are Alhaji Idrisu Hussein, who's a Deputy Director at the Vehicle Inspection and Registration, that's DVLA, and also Madame Sariat Afoko, who's the Manager and Administrator at the DVLA. And this morning they're going to be telling us all about driver's licenses here in Ghana. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, welcome to the show. And this morning we're going to be talking about driver's licenses. First of all, what is the process of acquiring a driver's license here in Ghana? I'll start with you, Alhaji.
Thank you, Sandra. It's very simple. First and foremost, you must have attained 18 years plus. Okay. And we expect that you should be sound in the mind. Okay. Just walk to any of the DVLA offices that is closer or nearest to you with 4 passport size photographs. The initial license we give you is what we call the learner's license. Okay. So with the 4 pictures, an officer would have examined to see that indeed you are the one. Okay. Fortunately, again, we have automated this system. So you can even start the process before you even come to our office, where at the comfort of your home, you just go in, register yourself, and apply all the way to generating a receipt. Okay. An invoice, of course, not a receipt, an invoice. Then come with the pictures and the invoice to DVLA office. You are given the learner's license, which is...
Don't you have to undergo any test or anything to be sure that you can actually drive? You know how to drive?
That is why we call it learner's license. Okay. So it means you are now coming to learn. So all we need to know is do you have the comprehension of the road signs? So we'll ask you questions on only road signs. We don't test you practically.
Is this after you've received the learner's permit or before?
Before receiving the learner's permit. So
you have to pass that test?
Yeah, you have to pass that test. So we give you the learner's permit, and we also give you an appointment for a proper theoretical test. Okay.
That's when they take you on the road and...
No, that is a theory test, a computer-based test. So this one will be more than just identifying road signs as we did earlier. Okay. So it's made up of 30 objective tests. You must score at least 21 out of the 30.
So that's you ask questions, it's like an exam?
Complete exam.
Okay.
It's between you and then the screen. So the questions will come in 10. Question 1 comes if you answer, question 2 follows.
This must be new because when I took my test, there was nothing like that.
Not very new because it's over 3 years now.
Oh, it's quite new. I had my license ages ago.
Relative, yes, okay. Yes. This time we do it on the
Okay, so you must score 21 and above.
Yes, 21 and above. Then when you pass this one, we then send you on the road. That is the in-traffic test or the practical test. After the practical test, we give you what we call the temporal license, which is valid for 3 months, after which the card would have been ready. Of course, there is an attachment to the...
3 months?
3 months.
Okay.
The temporal license. So we'll give you a P plate. So the learner's license would have been moving with an L plate, telling whoever is on the road to give you that care, that this is a learner.
Right.
And there is a condition attached to it as a learner. You cannot drive alone. There should always be a licensee beside you to give you instructions or to direct you. When you pass the in-traffic test and we give you the temporal license, we give you the P plate.
What does P mean?
Yeah, the P means probationary. So just
I haven't seen any of those on the road.
Now that I've said it, you now
look out for it.
Yes,
okay.
It's just that you've not been looking out for it. It's there. Okay. Very common. So that tells people that, okay, this is just somebody who's passed out. But of course, he or she still needs that sort of support from other road users. So you use the P for the 3 months. If you are okay and we don't have any problem with you, after 1 year, we will give you the line. But if you start involving yourself in accidents, then it tells us that no, we should not
qualify.
Yes, the probation, we need to extend it. So in short, this is how you get a license or the process in acquiring a license. That is one way. There's also another way. We have 2 entry points. That is somebody who doesn't know how to drive. That is the entry point. But for somebody who can drive and of course has a driving license from elsewhere, because we form part of the international community, we recognize other foreign licenses. So if you come with a license from a neighboring country, that's what we call conversion. We need to convert that license to a Ghanaian one.
Right.
That one we don't necessarily test you because we want to conform with the convention that we have signed with other partners. So we will look at it. If we are convinced that that is a genuine license from that other neighboring country, we convert it and give you a Ghanaian license.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Madam Sariata, what about physical fitness and good eyesight? How important are these when it comes to issuing of the licenses? Does the one have to undergo all these tests in order to acquire a license?
Thank you. This is very key. Normally, the examiners will have to examine you physically to know that you are fit, and then also we do an eye test before you are given a license. So initially, before even the learner's license, the examiner is supposed to check you physically and be sure that you can drive. You are normal.
And leave your original at home for safekeeping or anything like that?
One will understand why people want to do that.
Why would people want to do that? For safekeeping?
Of course, it's obvious. But our law is quite specific on that. Regulation 47 states that.
The road traffic.
Traffic regulation. Regulation LI 2180. That's the law governing our operations. That you must necessarily carry your driver's license. The original driver's license on you whilst driving. And upon request by a police officer or an authorized DVLA officer,
you must produce it
within 24 hours, either immediately or within 24 hours.
Okay, so if you're stopped or arrested by a police officer or a DVLA agent and you don't have your license with you, be it photocopied or original, they give you 24 hours to produce it.
Yes, and that is at the discretion of the police officer. He can say produce it immediately, go back and pick it.
So go back and pick it. What if you don't return? What is the process? What is the procedure? Does he follow you home, or does he seize your car, or what is the, how do the guarantee that you will come back?
Yeah, the law will not cover everything, obviously, but the police officer has that discretion. He can either just pick your keys and let you pack, or you can call home and let.
Does the law allow that the police officer seizes your car? Your car keys?
Yes, for you to bring it because he wants the license.
What happened?
It's
the same thing.
No, the photocopy is not a license. The law says original of your driver's license. So you must produce it either immediately or within 24 hours, and the police have that discretion.
And would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, just to add to what my sister is saying, you see that the license is a permit for you to use the road. So we will find it very difficult why you should have the permit to access the road, use the road, and use that permit rather in the house when you are on the road.
For safekeeping, you never know.
Good, for safekeeping, what safekeeping? Okay, so if I'm a police officer and I stop you, tell me you have the permit to use the road. Where is the permit? You tell me it's in the, how will I believe that? So the police officer has every right, or the DVLA official has every right to impound the vehicle until you are able to convince the officer that yes, you have the qualified permit to be on the road. Yes.
Let's talk about the process of acquiring the license again. Why does it take so long? Because I have gone to renew mine. I think it's still there. I remember you mentioned something about 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
I don't know if it's been 3 months or it's been over 3 months, but they gave me a slip of paper, a temporary one, I think, and that's what I have now. Yeah. And why does it take so long?
Certain time, the 3 months.
And this is just a renewal. This is not a fresh application.
Well, if it is a renewal and it's 3 months, then it means it's a replacement. It means it has expired for 6 years.
I'm sorry. 6 years is up, or
yes.
7 years, 10
years. Yeah, it's expired. Yeah. So we are changing the entire card. So it's like we are giving you a new license altogether. Okay. But of course, we give the 3 months looking at the volumes of licenses we need to print. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have centralized the printing of the licenses. For all the 10 regions, we print the license only at the head office or in Accra. So we move around. When we start with region A, we have to exhaust all what region A has submitted, move to region B. So if we we get data for region A, for instance, and we have just left region A, it has to stay until the clock moves around. So certain times these are some of the few challenges we have. And we don't actually want to just make the printing of licenses anyhow, in that it's a permit that can also be like a weapon. So we actually want to restrict and monitor every license that we print. So
what do you mean by a weapon? It can be used as a weapon?
The weapon here is if you make the printing so easy, then it means you are opening the floodgate for license to be produced anyhow. And anybody who gets license means you are introducing some sort of hazard onto the road. And the hazard here is you can kill. Because if you're supposed to go through the rudiment practices to acquire a license, but for the fact that it's easy to just print the license, in the human institution, you make the access so easy, people will have it and they will be forced to be on it when they are not qualified to.